how long do you spend on a single game? 100 hours, maybe 200 to 300? Or how about 300 straight days into a single game, just like I have? What's up, guys? So great to be back with you all. And yes, you heard that right. Over 300 days, 8,000 hours, and what has to be one of my favorite games, Ark Survival Evolved. And don't worry, for those finding this video that have absolutely zero clue what Ark is, I'll definitely be giving you a really good rundown, because trust when I say this game is like nothing you've ever played before. And I have a story that is gonna absolutely blow you away that I cannot wait to tell you. I've been meaning to tell this story for so long at this point. We're finally gonna get to it. Yeah, I know. I said Assassin's Creed Mirage is supposed to be this video, but I want to do this instead, and I know you guys are really gonna enjoy it. So while we go ahead and explore the Ark, why don't you go down and explore that subscribe button, because trust me when I say you're gonna love what I have to say. But besides all that, everybody, let's talk about Ark Survival Evolved. Ah, yes, Ark Survival Evolved. The only game I can think of where the best way to progress is beating the raptor who looked at you funny straight into a coma. So real quick, let me fill in those of you who have zero clue what I'm talking about so that everything makes sense. See, Ark is an adventure MMORPG with a community far larger than whatever you're thinking of right now. Hundreds of thousands of servers, each holding 70-ish people at its peak. Game's pretty simple. You plop into the server, choose a starting zone, and go find a local tree to pick a fight with. Gather some wood, thatch, and stone, then start construction of your own little house. As you progress, you can level up and put points into different areas like health, stamina, movement speed, or even crafting. More on that later, actually. But Ark, being a game the size that it is, has a tribe system. A fun way for you and the rest of your friends to join together and face whatever problems, because there will be problems that you may come across. See, this is where things get a little interesting. Depending on the size of your tribe, some of you may decide to have different roles. For example, in your level up screen, one of the options is crafting. It's a really great skill that if you invest into it, allows you to have better chances at making gear and weapons with higher durability and damage. Very useful for those wanting to engage in PvP, but it also allows you to get better quality saddles for your dinosaurs, even if you got a pretty shitty blueprint. But here's where some tribes get really crafty. What most do, our tribe did it too, was that one of you would take up the role as the crafter. All of your points would be pumped into this crafting skill and save time for other members of your tribe to put their points in other stats that could be a little bit more useful. But this also meant now that you had a crafter in your tribe, this one person had a really high chance of cranking out some really high quality gear that you either use for yourself or trade to other tribes. But the most important role most tribes have is a tribe breeder or breeders if you're really big. See, while you and your friends go and tame these creatures, some of them can breed and become stronger because every dino before and after it's tamed will have a certain amount of points into a specific stat. Plus, someone has to keep this information memorized, but because creatures can range from level 5 to 150, most of these stats can vary. But just for simplicity's sake, and trust when I say you're getting the short version, let's say you and your tribe find 2 Rexes, great dinos with great health and melee at the cost of turning around worse than a bus does. Regardless, however, after knocking them out, you will notice that their stats can vary wildly. One Rex can have, say, 100 melee while the other has 150. Naturally, you'd want the 150 melee, as even though they're the same level, the 150 has more points invested into its stat, making it far easier for not only your personal use, but for the breeders to do their part. See, every time 2 dinos breed, the dice gets rolled, and it works like this. If you have a male Rex with, say, 37 points in HP, 24 points in melee, along with a female Rex with 31 points in HP and 45 points in melee, you have a 55% chance, in theory mind you, for each stat to roll over in favor of the higher stat on the babies to get the 37 health and the 45 melee. I know, it's a giant numbers game. All of that though on one dino, and that's before you involve twins or triplets. Now, at first, everything may seem fine and dandy, but oh no. No, it's not quite over yet. To even incubate the egg is a 5-hour process. Yes, 5 real life hours, but it's not the incubating that's the hard part, it's the baby stage. See, after an egg pops, you get a little baby dinosaur, and before future DLCs came out, which made it a tad easier, because thank the stars for cryopods, that baby had to be hand-fed the entire time until about 75%-ish of its baby stage, and then it could be comfortably left alone, give or take or so. However, dinosaurs like the T-Rex have a 9-hour baby stage. Most breeders don't just pop 1 egg. Most, like our breeder, we call her Maiden, she'll go ahead and pop 15 to 30 eggs at once minimum and spend the next few hours with 2 others just looking after them. And this is just one dino. You want to get really crazy with it? Let's take a look at Ark's biggest dinosaur, the Giga, a 2-day egg incubation with over 24 hours of it being in the baby stage. From adult to baby, it takes 10 days to fully grow. And that's not even mentioning the imprinting that has to be done. See, imprinting is done every few hours or so. It can be anything from cuddles to something insane like raw prime fish meat. Some you could be off by an hour or so. For example, rock drakes were notorious with this. However, others you have to be there or you will not hit 100%. The higher the imprint, the more damage you deal and the less you take. And for some creatures like the Giga, where if it took too much damage too fast, it would kick you off and turn on you and your entire tribe. Imprinting was required. It was necessary even. So if that imprint hit and it was 2 in the morning, guess who was setting an alarm so you wouldn't miss it? And this was dinos that could be fed easily. Try raising 10 to 20 or more baby wyverns, where the only way to feed them is to head over to Scorched Earth and steal wyvern milk from the females, and that's assuming nobody else is trying to do the same thing. But damn man, when it's all over and you take it into the battle for the first time, definitely worth it. But now that that's all out of the way and you've heard my explanation about what Ark is and all the math involved, it's finally time for that story. And see, our story takes place on Genesis 2. You know, I loved this map. It was really, really fun. We all had one last hoorah, but it's actually something very special about Genesis 2 that I'll always remember, and it's the boss fight. You see, our story starts very early that morning when I wanted to get the boss fight done. So I went out of my way and knocked out about 15 to 17 Rexes. Took me way longer than I wanted to admit. I'm pretty sure I spent like all morning on this. Saddled them up, power leveled them, and finally got them to the arena. Mind you, the arena that you actually summon this at is very well done. It looks absolutely incredible. Not only is there this layer of meat and flesh that you have to navigate through, it does a really great job of making you feel small, trapped, and enclosed. So as we get up to the terminal, we do a final roll call. We got 20 dinosaurs, 10 people, we're all armored up, everybody's got weapons. We finally summon the boss, and mind you, before this, I've done every single boss on Ark. You name it, I've done it. Island, Scorched Earth, Aberration, the Center, I've done all of them. So, you know, we finally go to summon the arena, and we all teleport in. Something goes wrong. Instantly, we find out that only 2 of us came in and all of the dinosaurs came in. So we're already panicking. All right, this was not part of the plan. We originally thought, because the way all the other bosses work, so long as one person hit the level, then everybody could go in. But the problem, that's not what happened this time. 2 of us end up going into the arena and making our way down to the final boss. And this was heart pumping. We had no idea what was going to happen. No idea if things were going to go our way. And we honestly, we were not prepped for this. The 2 of us, I was going to be the UD rider and the other guy was going to be the one grabbing the Rexes along with the other 10 people, but we only had the 2 of us. And mind you, this entire time while you're making the way to the final section, Rockwell talks down to you the entire time, basically insulting you all the way there. Really added this extra layer because no one had seen this before, so we were really, really excited. But man, only getting 2 people, we were supposed to have 10. Things were already looking pretty bad. But enough panic, we were on a time limit and the fight has begun. Right away, I'll never forget how intense the music was. Not to mention, this particular arena had us constantly slowed down. We couldn't even move like we wanted to, but our goal was simple. Take down the tentacles blocking our path, take down Rockwell, keep ourselves alive. So we began taking down the first wave of tentacles. Things weren't looking too bad, yet me and my guy, full health, plenty of bullets to spare, and the Rexes aren't looking too bad yet. You see, wave 1 kicks off, and after defeating some more of the tentacles around the arena, it was time to take out the first Guardian, only for our attacks to do absolutely nothing. Doesn't help that during this entire time, Rockwell's first comments are about how pitiful my attacks are. But see, here's where we started getting a little nervous, but thankfully the arena provides you with a solution via the exomech, an easy and quick solution that allowed us to instantly take out this mini boss. However, this part has 4 phases, but on phase 3 things started to get out of control. Not only were we being poisoned, slowed, swarmed by enemies, and losing constant track of each other 24/7, we finally saw it hit the top of our screens. Your Rex Omega has been killed, and I had absolutely zero clue where it died. And as the UD rider, it's my job to know where every single Rex is. I have to control them. So as we get back to try to finishing the phase, before we even have time to think or regroup, boom, your Rex Charlie has been killed. Now I'm panicking. Rexes are dying everywhere, and we're in so far over our heads, we can't even see where half the Rexes are, much less where these two died. And mind you, the entire time, the music is just pumping. But we did manage to take down the final phase, only to lose 2 more Rexes on phase 4. Coming in with 19, only being dropped down to 15 was not good. But eventually, we finally managed to get our bearings, count our Rexes, heal each other, and face the final phase. Rockwell. At this point, stress is really starting to kick our asses. Our Rexes are limited. There's only 2 of us, and we have 2 different tribes, 8 other people in our Discord chat watching and cheering us on. And honestly, we were super low on healing items and even lower on ammo, but the time could not be wasted. Right away, I sent what few Rexes we have left to the front lines, hoping, praying they can come back alive. Just stay there long enough to where they can finish the job. We start to whittle down his final health bar, and boom, 2 more Rexes fall. Before we even have time to think, boom, 4 more Rexes fall. We went from 19 to 15 to 9. And just to add the final cherry on top, a voice booms through the arena: your survival ends here. This is it, man. What originally started as a project because we were all bored turned into one of the most stressful, intense moments we've ever been through in gaming, but we were so close to victory. It was only a few hits away, so we say to hell with it. I whistle everything that we have left. Every single dino still standing to the very front lines. We sit in the back. We're pumping healing items. We're pulling out every piece of ammo we have left. And finally, after all the losses, all the heart-pumping moments, it was over. We did it. We successfully took down the Genesis 2 Rockwell fight on our server, the very first people. But honestly, man, this is just one of the so many stories I have about this game. By the way, heads up, I am so sorry that this is so late. I had not just like 1 to 2, but like 5 different audio issues. That's why you're seeing this video a lot later than it's supposed to be. So I apologize about that in advance. This will not be happening again. Get ready to get machine gun content. So we're going to be pumping a lot of that out right now. But that's basically it, man. That is my story for you about Ark Survival Evolved. If you thought this was a great story, you thought it was kind of funny, definitely let me know down in the comments. And again, I'm sorry I'm late. It's not gonna happen again, but I'm just glad you guys got to stop on by and enjoy it with me. If you really did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Possibly share it with a friend, and I will see you all in the next video that will not take 2 weeks. Love you all. See you later.